So again, if you have this question here, okay, if 532.1 times 10 to the power 4 minus 1.583 times 10 to the power 6, okay, you can see that from the question that the exponents are not the same. This one is raised to the power 6, 10 to the power 6, while this other exponent is what? 10 to the power 4. So, and I told us that when the exponents are not the same, when the powers are not the same, that you cannot subtract, neither add, okay, the standard form of numbers. Are you getting it? So what do? We have to reduce one, or make sure that the two exponents are the same. Okay, we have to make sure that the two exponents are the same before we can subtract. Okay, we have already gotten 4 here, which is lesser than this. Okay, this is 6, so we can reduce this decimal or this exponent to what? 6 to 4. Okay, so that we can subtract, okay, so that the exponent will be the same. All right, so how do we reduce this decimal or this standard form that is raised to power 6 to 4? Okay, now let's see what we can do. This is what? This is 1.583 times 10 times what? 10 to the power 6. Are you getting it? Now, we are going to reduce this standard form to the power 4 or to exponent 4. How do you do that? Now, if you look at it, there's a decimal point here, okay, and it is this decimal point that will determine the increase in the power or the exponent. It is this decimal point that will also determine the reduction of what? The power. Now, we want to reduce the power, okay? So if we want to reduce the power, look at what we'll do, okay? The decimal point, when we reduce the power, the decimal point, okay, is going to go to this direction. Are you getting it? The decimal point have to go to what? This direction, so that it will be reducing the power. But if we go this direction, it will be increasing the power. Now look at this. If we have 1.583 times 10 to the power 6, okay, and we want to reduce this to what? Power 4. Now we are going to write this. This is 1, and this decimal point, I told you that we are going to be shifting it to this direction so that it will be reducing the power. Alright, so if we take this decimal point to the next point here, okay, to this point, it means that the power here will reduce to what? 5. Are you getting it? So as you are shifting the decimal point, the power will be reducing by 1. The power will be reducing by what? 1. Okay, from this point to this point, from 6, that reduces to what? 5. So if we take it, meanwhile, our target is to get power 4. So if we reduce this, or take this decimal point from this point to this other point, it means that our power will reduce to what? 4. Are you getting it? So, and our aim is to get what? Power 4. Alright, so it means that the number is now going to be 158.3. Are you seeing it? Then times 10 raised to the power what? 4. Do you understand? Alright, so we have reduced the number to 4. So since we have reduced the number to 4, we cannot come back okay, and then minus or subtract this what numbers. So here 532.1 times 10 raised to power what 4 minus what? What did we reduce here? What did we get here? We had 158.3. So 1 what? 58.3. Now I told us that since we are subtracting, we ensure that the decimal point should be corresponding. Okay, the decimal point should be corresponding to what? This other number. So here we have the decimal point here. So we're going to write the decimal point here so that we will not make mistake where the decimal point is what written. Okay, then the next thing after the decimal point here, the next value is what? 3. Okay, so to my right, the next value is what? 3. Then times 10 now raised to power what? 4. Okay, while the rest numbers before the decimal point are what? 8, 5 and 1. So we are going to write it in that order so that we will not make mistake. So it will be what? 8, 5 and what? 1. Are you getting it? 8, 5 and what? 1. So that we now subtract. Alright. So when we are subtracting, I told us that you don't subtract the powers. You just write them down, you bring them down. Times 10 raised to power 4. Okay, and then you subtract the numbers. Now, this 1 will subtract 3. 1 subtract 3, you know you cannot. So it will go borrow 1 from 2. 2 to this is what? 11. So here will be 11. Now 11 minus 3 is what? 8. 11 minus 3 is 8. There's a decimal point here. You bring down a decimal point, and then what will be left here is 1 because we borrowed 1 before. Okay, so 1 minus 8 you cannot. So we go borrow 1 from 3 again to this is what? 11. Now 11 minus 8 is what? 3. Are you getting it? And then what will be left here is what? 2. 2 minus 5 you cannot. Go borrow 1 from 5. Okay, it will be what? 12. And 12 minus 5 is what? 7. 12 minus 5 is 7. Okay, and what will be left here is 4. 4 minus 1 is what? 3. So the answer is 373.8 times 10 raised to the power 4. Is it simple?